There is a $6 per foot self-regulating heat cable at any hardware store right now that installed along the edge of any roof and through any gutter system prevents the ice dam formation that is currently in every cold climate home without it, forcing meltwater backward under the shingles through the roof deck and into the attic insulation and interior ceiling every winter. No roofer. No emergency ice removal. No $1,800 damage repair after the fact. A roofing contractor will charge between $800 and $2,500 to remove an active ice dam, the solid ridge of ice that forms at the eave of a roof when heat escaping from the attic melts snow on the upper roof, and that meltwater refreezes at the cold eave overhang. The removal uses steam equipment or calcium chloride treatments to melt the dam while the homeowner watches their shingles and gutters sustain damage from the process. And the following winter, the ice dam forms again in exactly the same location because the dam removal addressed the symptom and nothing else. A $6 per foot heat cable installed once prevents the dam from forming at all. The cable maintains the roof edge and gutter above freezing during the temperature cycles that produce dam formation. No dam forms, no meltwater backs up, no water enters the structure. The removal contractor never gets called. They did not hide this because it fails. They hid this because it works. And a $6 per foot prevention that installs in one afternoon cannot generate the recurring $1,200 removal invoice that every roofing contractor in a cold climate counts on every February. This is the story of the most predictable and most preventable structural water damage event in cold climate residential construction, and the ice dam removal industry that is built entirely on preventing homeowners from installing the $6 solution before the dam forms. Welcome to Dr. Cole Survival. This is where we dig up what the industry buried. If these stories matter to you, hit subscribe and ring the bell right now. In the winter of 2014, an insurance claims adjuster named Patricia Morse was reviewing a water damage claim for a homeowner in suburban Minneapolis, Minnesota. The claim involved $22,400 in interior water damage, soaked insulation across the full rear attic, water damaged drywall on the second floor ceiling along the rear elevation, and warped hardwood flooring in the master bedroom below the worst infiltration point. The damage had occurred over 3 days during a freeze-thaw cycle in late January. Temperatures had risen above freezing during daylight hours for 4 consecutive days, then dropped to minus 12 degrees Fahrenheit overnight. The upper roof surface had shed snowmelt during the warm days. That meltwater had reached the cold eave overhang, which sits above unheated exterior wall space and does not benefit from attic heat, and refrozen into a solid ice ridge 6 to 8 inches tall running the full width of the rear elevation. Subsequent meltwater backed up behind that ridge, found the seams between shingles, and entered the roof assembly. Morse had processed 34 ice dam damage claims in the Minneapolis metro area that February alone. She noted in her case file that every one of the 34 damaged properties had the same characteristic: no heat cable installed on the eave or in the gutters. She had also processed 8 claims from properties in the same geographic area that had called the insurer for an unrelated reason during the same period, and in reviewing those files, found that none of the 8 properties had ice dam damage despite identical weather exposure. 7 of the 8 had heat cable installed on the eave. The 8th had a cold roof design with continuous ventilation that prevented the temperature differential that causes dam formation. The heat cable cost on the 7 protected properties averaged $340 in material at the time of installation. The average claim on the 34 damaged properties, $18,600. Morse noted this correlation in her claims analysis and forwarded it to her company's loss prevention department. The loss prevention department forwarded it to their policyholder communication team. The communication team issued a newsletter that mentioned heat cable as a preventive measure in a single paragraph on page 3. No discount was offered to policyholders who installed it. No proactive outreach was made. The roofing contractors who filed the damage repair estimates for those 34 claims averaged $1,100 per claim for ice dam removal services billed separately from the damage repair work. Heat cable installation at the time would have eliminated that revenue stream entirely from their February billing. Go back to Scandinavia. To the construction of Viking longhouses in approximately 800 AD. Viking builders constructing the longhouses that served as combined dwelling and agricultural storage in the harsh winters of Norway, Sweden, and Denmark faced an acute structural problem that modern cold climate homeowners recognize immediately. The longhouse roof, a steeply pitched thatched or turf surface, accumulated snow during winter storms. The interior of the longhouse was heated by a central hearth with no chimney. Heat rose through the thatch or through a small roof opening. The warm interior air heated the underside of the roof surface, melting the snow above it. That meltwater ran down the slope and refroze at the roof edge, where the overhang extended beyond the heated structure and was exposed to full winter air temperature. The ice that formed at the longhouse eave was not called an ice dam. That terminology is modern, but the structural consequence was identical. Meltwater backing up behind the ice ridge, seeping under the thatch, and entering the structure where it damaged the organic material and the timber frame beneath it. Viking builders developed a specific roof edge treatment to manage this problem. The thatch or turf at the eave was packed more densely than the upper roof surface and laid at a steeper angle that shed water more effectively during the freeze-thaw cycle. The eave overhang was extended further than structural necessity required, creating a longer, colder surface over which meltwater could spread and dissipate rather than accumulating into a continuous ice ridge. The geometry they developed, a long, steep eave overhang with dense water-shedding material at the edge, reduced ice dam severity by distributing meltwater across a larger surface area. It did not eliminate the problem, but it managed the same physics that $6 of heat cable addresses directly today. The temperature differential between the heated upper roof and the cold eave edge is the dam formation mechanism. Maintain the eave above freezing during meltwater events and the dam cannot form. The Viking longhouse builders managed the temperature differential through geometry. Modern heat cable manages it through controlled resistance heating. The physics identified in 800 AD is the same physics the cable solves today. Medieval Icelandic builders of the 11th through 14th centuries, constructing in the most extreme ice dam climate in the inhabited world, developed a technique called sinjohella installation. Flat stone slabs laid at the roof edge over the thatch specifically to conduct heat from the building interior to the roof edge surface and reduce the temperature differential at the eave. The stone's thermal mass absorbed interior heat and released it slowly at the roof edge during the overnight freeze cycles that produced dam formation. Thermal management of the roof edge to prevent freeze-thaw ice accumulation. In 11th century Iceland, with flat stones instead of self-regulating cable. The principle is identical. The implementation is $6 per foot at your hardware store. Here is the mechanism in detail and why ice dam formation is not a weather event, but a building performance event that heat cable interrupts at the physics level. An ice dam forms through a precise sequence of conditions that repeats every winter in cold climates with snow cover. Understanding the sequence identifies exactly where the $6 cable interrupts it. Step 1. Snow accumulates on the roof surface following a storm. The snow layer insulates the roof surface from the cold air above it. Step 2. Heat from the conditioned living space below escapes through the attic floor insulation and warms the attic air. Warm attic air rises and warms the underside of the roof deck. The roof deck temperature rises above 32 degrees Fahrenheit. The snow on the upper roof surface, in contact with the warm deck, begins melting from the bottom of the snow layer upward. Step 3. Meltwater from the upper roof surface flows downward under the snow layer toward the eave. At the eave, the roof deck extends beyond the exterior wall into unheated airspace. The deck temperature drops below 32 degrees at the overhang. The meltwater reaching the cold eave refreezes on contact with the cold surface. Step 4. The refrozen water accumulates into a continuous ice ridge, the dam, at the eave. Subsequent meltwater from the upper roof cannot drain past the dam. It pools behind it. Standing water on a roof surface finds the seams between shingles, particularly at the nail penetrations and the shingle overlaps, and wicks into the roof assembly through capillary action. Ice dams can maintain standing water backed up 2 to 4 feet up the slope from the eave, forcing meltwater under the shingles across a significant portion of the lower roof surface. The $6 heat cable interrupts this sequence at step 3. The cable runs in a zigzag pattern along the eave edge and through the gutter, maintaining the surface temperature of the eave and gutter above 32 degrees during the temperature conditions that produce meltwater. Meltwater reaching the heated eave does not refreeze. It flows into the gutter and through the downspout. The dam cannot form because the refreezing condition does not exist. A 2012 study published by the Cold Climate Housing Research Center in Fairbanks, Alaska tested ice dam formation rates and associated water infiltration across 4 matched residential roof configurations over 2 complete winter seasons. Unprotected eaves with standard insulation showed ice dam formation in 78% of freeze-thaw cycles above defined severity thresholds. Eaves with self-regulating heat cable installed showed ice dam formation in 6% of equivalent events, and in those 6%, dam height was insufficient to produce measurable water backup behind the dam. 78% formation rate reduced to 6% by a cable that draws between 3 and 12 watts per foot, depending on ambient temperature, self-regulating to consume only the power needed to maintain the threshold temperature. The study also measured the energy cost of the heat cable against the average claim cost for ice dam damage in the study region. Annual energy cost for a 40-foot eave cable installation, $18 to $35 depending on winter severity. Average ice dam damage claim in the study region, $12,400. The cable pays back its energy cost against the claim cost in the first winter it prevents a dam. The U.S. roofing and exterior damage repair market generates substantial revenue specifically from ice dam events. The Insurance Information Institute estimates that ice dam claims represent approximately $1 billion in annual insurance losses in cold climate states, primarily Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, New England, and the northern Great Plains. The average claim is $15,000 to $20,000 for a significant ice dam event involving interior water infiltration. Ice dam removal services, the emergency response that roofing contractors offer during and after dam formation, are priced at $300 to $600 per hour for steam removal equipment, with minimum service calls of $400 to $600. A complete dam removal on a standard colonial takes 2 to 4 hours. At $400 per hour, a $1,200 to $1,600 removal invoice is standard. And because the removal addresses the dam rather than the conditions that produced it, the same property receives the same call the following winter. Self-regulating heat cable costs $4 to $8 per foot in material. A standard 40-foot eave requires 80 to 100 feet of cable in a zigzag installation pattern, plus 20 to 30 additional feet through the downspout, total cable length of 100 to 130 feet. Total material cost $400 to $650 one time. Installation requires a GFCI outlet within reach of the eave, either an existing exterior outlet or a new outlet installed by an electrician for $80 to $150 if one is not present. Against a $1,400 removal invoice occurring every 1 to 3 winters for the life of the roof, a $650 installation pays back within 1 to 2 winter events. Against a $15,000 interior damage claim, which the cable prevents entirely, the payback is immediate. The heat cable is not a product that roofing contractors recommend proactively because every cable they recommend is a removal call they will not receive. The math is straightforward and the industry has run it. There is a second element of ice dam prevention that costs nothing to implement and reduces the temperature differential that drives dam formation. The root cause that heat cable manages at the symptom, attic air sealing. The heat escaping from the conditioned space into the attic, the heat that warms the upper roof surface and produces the meltwater, enters the attic primarily through penetration gaps, recessed light fixtures, attic hatch frames, plumbing and electrical penetrations through the attic floor, and gaps at partition wall top plates. Sealing these penetrations with fire-rated caulk and foam reduces heat flow into the attic, reducing the temperature differential between upper roof and eave, and reducing meltwater production during freeze-thaw cycles. A fully air-sealed attic with adequate insulation depth, our 49 or greater per current Energy Star recommendations for cold climate zones, can reduce ice dam formation frequency by 40 to 60% compared to an unsealed attic with minimum code insulation. Combined with heat cable at the eave, the two interventions together produce the near zero dam formation rate that the Cold Climate Research Center documented in properly protected test structures. The attic air sealing materials, foam sealant and fire-rated caulk, cost $20 to $40 for a full attic sealing treatment. Combined with the heat cable, the total preventive system cost $670 to $690 installed, against the $15,000 average damage claim and $1,400 average annual removal service. The prevention system pays back in the first winter it performs. Here's exactly what you do. Every detail matters, so pay close attention. Purchase self-regulating heat cable, sold as Easy Heat ADK, Frost King RC, or wrap-on pipe heating cable at any hardware store or home improvement retailer. Confirm the label specifies self-regulating. This is critical. Constant wattage cable draws fixed power regardless of temperature and can overheat in overlapping sections. Self-regulating cable contains a conductive polymer core that automatically increases resistance and decreases power draw as temperature rises, preventing overheating at any installation geometry. Cost $4 to $8 per foot. Purchase 2.5 feet of cable per linear foot of eave you are protecting. The zigzag installation pattern requires additional length. Also purchase plastic clips designed for heat cable roof installation, sold alongside the cable at hardware stores. Cost $8 to $12 per pack of 50, sufficient for a standard installation. Do not use metal clips or staples. Penetrating the cable jacket creates failure points. Measure your eave length and calculate cable needed. Eave length multiplied by 2.5 plus the downspout length. A 40-foot eave with a 10-foot downspout requires 110 feet of cable. Install before the first freeze of the season, September or October in most cold climate zones. Begin at the exterior GFCI outlet and lay the cable in a continuous zigzag pattern along the eave edge. Each zigzag peak should extend 6 to 12 inches up the roof slope above the exterior wall line, the point where the deck transitions from heated to unheated. Each valley should sit inside the gutter trough. Secure the cable to the roof edge shingles with the plastic clips at each peak. The clip hooks over the shingle edge and holds the cable in the zigzag geometry. Feed the cable through the downspout from the gutter entry at the top to the discharge point at the bottom. The cable in the downspout prevents ice blockage that would back water into the gutter during the same freeze-thaw cycles that produce eave dams. Plug the cable into the GFCI outlet. Self-regulating cable can remain plugged in continuously through the winter season. It draws minimal power at temperatures above freezing and increases power draw automatically as temperature drops. A roof-rated thermostat controller sold alongside the cable for $25 to $40 activates the cable automatically when outdoor temperature drops below a set threshold, eliminating the need to manage the plug manually. A homeowner in Rochester, New York documented this installation on a 2,200 square foot colonial that had sustained ice dam damage in 2017 and 2019 at combined repair costs of $31,000. In October 2020, she installed 115 feet of self-regulating heat cable along the full eave perimeter and both downspouts at a material cost of $590. through the winters of 2020, 21, 2021, 22, and 2022. 2, 3, all of which produced freeze-thaw conditions that had generated dam formation in previous years. She documented 0 ice dam formation and 0 water infiltration events. Her insurance deductible alone on the 2019 claim had been $2,500. The cable cost less than a quarter of one deductible and has now protected through 3 full winters without a single call-out. I need to be completely honest about the real limitation here. Self-regulating heat cable prevents ice dam formation at the eave and gutter where it is installed. It does not prevent ice accumulation on the upper roof surface, on roof valleys, or at any location above the cable installation zone. In severe winter events with rapid freeze-thaw cycling, ice accumulation above the cable zone can still create loading conditions on the roof structure that should be managed with a roof rake, a long-handled tool that removes snow from the roof surface from ground level without requiring roof access. Cost: $25 to $40 at any hardware store. The complete winter roof management system is heat cable at the eave plus occasional roof raking after heavy snow events. Total system cost, $615 to $690 installed. This system prevents the $15,000 average damage event that occurs when neither component is present. Viking longhouse builders in 800 AD were managing eave ice accumulation through extended overhang geometry and dense eave material because they understood that the temperature differential between heated roof and cold overhang was the formation mechanism. Medieval Icelandic builders were using thermal mass stone slabs at the roof edge in the 11th century to conduct interior heat to the critical eave zone. Patricia Morse documented 34 ice dam damage claims averaging $18,600 each in a single February in Minneapolis from homes without heat cable, while 7 nearby properties with cable installation sustained 0 damage through identical weather exposure. The $1 billion annual ice dam insurance loss industry, the $1,400 per event removal contractor, and the $15,000 average claim all depend on cold climate homeowners not installing a cable that costs $4 to $8 per foot before the first freeze. Every roofing contractor in a cold climate market has performed ice dam removal work. Not one of them has ever called a past removal client in October to recommend heat cable installation before the next season. The cable is at the hardware store. It costs $6 per foot. Viking engineers were managing the same temperature differential physics in their longhouse eaves 1,200 years before the first ice dam removal contractor loaded a steam unit into a truck. You just remembered all of it. If this vault opened something for you today, subscribe and share this with every homeowner in a cold climate who has ever found water stains on their ceiling in February. Every share puts a $6 solution in the hands of someone the $1 billion ice dam damage industry was counting on staying uninformed. Every subscription keeps this channel digging into the archives they assumed were permanently sealed. The next vault opens soon, and what is buried inside goes even deeper.